Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Got to rush ahead now. Only one segment left. Just let me wrap this up. Let us therefore consider using the private character, that's what it is, the privately owned Federal Reserve, since it is privately owned and privately controlled, since it does not take its orders from Congress in the sense of public laws to make its policies, it rather responds to this consensus primarily among bankers. Let's override the control of the bankers by using the powers of the presidency, and it's going to take a real president to do it. This is, again, one of the problems of having the Wall Street puppet Obama. But if Obama could be ushered out, and we'll talk about that in just a second, you'd then have the way open. Now, the Federal Reserve can easily accept the bonds of states as collateral, easily. The Federal Reserve could go out and buy real estate if it wanted to. Take a look at the statutes, right? It can do basically anything it wants. Bernanke needs a phone call from a real president saying, I want $1 trillion for job creation right now. We're going to start rebuilding the United States. This is the first of 10 or 15 such installments. We need an economic recovery. $1 trillion, please, today, and we'll call you next week and see how much more we need. This is the first tranche. The awesome inherent powers of the presidency. Is Bernanke going to be able to buck the presidency? Let him try. You can also have the FBI look into his personal life. You can do all these things. Again, what Kennedy did to Roger Blau it was clear that was a cartel dominated by Morgan. He called the Justice Department in on Roger Blau, and Roger Blau folded within about 24 hours, and they were all happy. They were jittery to get it over with. So I think I would call on people, if you are in the trade of history, go back and look at how Franklin D. Roosevelt controlled the Federal Reserve. He nationalized it. You basically have three phases. From 1914 to 1933, the Federal Reserve runs wild under Morgan. From 1933 to 1951 or 52, it is de facto nationalized, all during the war. The Federal Reserve is told by the President and the Treasury what they will do. They cannot make their own monetary policy. They cannot set interest rates the way they want to for bankers. It's all done according to national needs and national necessity. That's what won World War II. That's what defeated fascism. That's what rebuilt the entire U.S. economy during those years. You want to go back to it? Nationalize the Fed. Well, I can't do it because the Tea Party will block it. Well, get a real president or force some combination. Lean on Obama to the point that he reads a script on the telephone or something like this, because it doesn't require Congress. Since it's a private institution, you don't need the Congress. That's the ironic benefit of the failure of FDR in this case to do what he should have done. Gives us this kind of extra means of moving in. So I'll have more about that. How Franklin D. Roosevelt de facto nationalized the Federal Reserve and how that could be done today to issue the 10 to 15 trillion, and we have to do it with rapid succession, but and then leave it in a revolving credit fund so that it's constantly reinvesting. And we're told that the Swiss franc is going to be repegged to the euro. This shows how much the world needs fixed parities. Fixed parities were the essence of the Bretton Woods system, destroyed 40 years ago last week by Nixon, Kissinger, and other Republican thugs. The German stock market, the DAX, is down 23% in August, down 1% today, an absolute disaster. We need a worldwide recovery program. We are in a depression. Now, just concerning Obama, I call people's attention to the new Ulsterman installments. I don't know whether the Ulsterman installments are real. Just put in Ulsterman Obama, and you'll find it. But they may not be real, but they're plausible. That Obama is going to build his attempted reelection campaign on race riots in order to solidify the black community and also get the white liberal guilt vote. It's a desperate strategy, may work, may not work. It doesn't seem to take into account the Petraeus alternative. The race riot strategy would work against the Bachmann or basically any of the Republican dwarves that we see currently in the field. But it wouldn't work against Petraeus, so I think that's a limitation. So Ulsterman knows certain things, but he does a lot of things that he doesn't know. Concerning the Republicans, concerning the Democrats, Ulsterman says that there's going to be an attempt to field a primary challenger to Obama. The models would be Eugene McCarthy, 1968. I would add Teddy Kennedy, 1968. Bobby Kennedy, 1968. They also mentioned Teddy Kennedy, 1980, against Carter. The idea is that this sort of a challenge mortally wounds the president and makes it possible for the other party to win. It's almost impossible to oust the president, although in 1968 the crisis was bad enough. I think the Depression this time will make the crisis comparable to the Vietnam crisis of 1968. He also mentions Buchanan. Buchanan in the year 1992 as mortally wounding Bush the elder, opening the door to Perot and helping to bring him down. So that's all quite possible. We're also told that Obama hates the presidency. He's listless, disinterested, watches sports programs on television the entire time. Also quite plausible. Take a look at the Ulsterman Obama material. Now let's spend a couple of minutes here at the close on 9/11. As I mentioned, I have the 5th edition of my book, 9/11 Synthetic Terror. I regard this as the indispensable political overview compendium. It includes enough technical information so that it covers most of those aspects. 9/11 Synthetic Terror, Made in USA, the 5th edition for the 10th anniversary now, 2011. You've got to go directly to Progressive Press. Info@progressivepress.com. Info@progressivepress.com. Concerning what we were talking about in the previous segment, while you're doing this, get yourself the Cataclysm book, Surviving the Cataclysm. That has the entire story of how Roosevelt nationalized the Federal Reserve. We would like to develop that research further, but the basic story is all there. So get yourself a copy. If you're going to look into how Roosevelt controlled the Fed, get yourself a copy of Surviving the Cataclysm, Your Guide Through the Worst Financial Crisis in Human History. So get yourself then the 9/11 Synthetic, 5th edition. I'm up to 46 drills. You will see my interview with Kevin Barrett this week, which should be posted, Truth Jihad Radio. We talk about this in quite a bit of detail. Also with Tom Kiley of INN. And I repeat that I'll be in New York City on September 11th with Tom Kiley at the INN studios for their all-day symposium, and he's going to have quite a number of prominent people who have had something to say about these issues in the recent past. So a good thing to attend. We had the publication of this book, Jonathan Kay, Among the Truthers, the usual tissue of lies, slanders, and so forth. Yesterday on Point, the left-oligarchs, the National Public Radio, National Pentagon Radio people had a very one-sided thing about this with Jonathan Kay and that awful guy Meggs from Popular Mechanics, that scrivener. So they're there, obviously trumpeting the righteousness of the Kane-Hamilton Commission report. Some people, 1 or 2 people from the architects and engineers called in. The thing that gets me is the key to the entire thing is the drills, the exercises. 23 on the day of, 22 in the preparation, 23 in the preparation, 22 on 9/11, on that day, highest density of drills in U.S. history as far as I can see, and then 1, the Amalgam Virgo 02, which is also in advanced preparation and which bears on the events. The drills, this constant reversion to these shop-worn technical arguments, start from the political dimension, start with the way that these things are done. From von Stauffenberg, in a good sense, in July of 1944 to 9/11 in 2001, in a bad sense. It's done through drills, exercises, war games, and other activities. I've got 46 of them. And I'm sorry, I wanted to read you some things that Jonathan Kay says about me. I don't want you to go and buy Jonathan Kay. Don't buy that book. I'll give you the relevant parts here. I'll just reel them off for you next week. But the 9/11 issue remains open, and watch out, the 4th anniversary of the Rogue B-52. That is coming up now in the coming week. Today is the 4th anniversary of the Kenny Bunkport warning. So stay tuned to Tarpley.net and the Twitter feed.